Welcome in 07 Citizens, Black here from Casa Black Gaming, and this is a review for the Banu Defender. I see this ship flown a lot, and it's probably one of the more popular alien ships to be flown around the verse, and often pops up on many players' lists for top daily drivers, and I think you'll understand why after this video. Anyway, if you find this video useful or need more guides, reviews, or even vehicle loadouts, then please consider subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and also commenting because I'm very active in the comments section, answering many questions, and even there for your criticisms so long as they are respectful, because without them, I would not be able to grow my content. I also offer up additional help by way of my Discord channel, which is more of a place to help players with direct questions or to have further conversations about the game and ships that we all love. Anyway, with the intro out of the way, let's go ahead and get to this honest ship review. First here on the screen are the stats for the Defender, which is labeled as a 2-seater light fighter. The Defender comes with 4 size 3 pilot controlled hardpoints, which offers up a nice size of weapons configurations that I go into more on my Banu Defender ship loadout. The Defender also comes with 2 size 3 missile racks that are locked in, so no changing out the sizes for these, and each support 2 size 2 missiles, giving you a total of 4 missiles. The ship dimensions are 24.5 meters in length, 24.5 meters across its beam and width, and then 5 meters in height, making this a pancake that slips through space. The crew size is 1 to 2. The combat speed is 203 meters per second, making it one of the faster light fighters to use in combat. The max speed is 1200 meters per second. The cargo is 0 SCU, and the ship claim time at the ASOP terminals is 8 minutes and 26 seconds, which can of course be brought down to 2 minutes and 46 seconds for around 4,200 credits if you simply cannot wait. The ship components are 1 size 2 shield, 2 size 1 coolers, 2 size 1 power plant, and 1 size 1 quantum drive. There are 16 thrusters for stabilization and maneuverability, and there are 2 size 2 hydrogen fuel tanks and 2 size 1 quantum fuel tanks. So for many ships, this is a real concern for some of the ship owners and can determine if they in fact use a ship daily or decide to go with something different that they find more convenient to get in and out of. And so I include the time it takes to enter a ship for those owners who want to weigh that into their decision making. The Banu Defender, for it to be a small light fighter ship, still has 2 doors to get through in order to reach your seat. Now while this is not that big of a time sink, it still might be a factor for someone looking to buy the ship. It took me between 15 to 17 seconds to enter my seat from the outside, and this includes closing the hatch behind me to keep stowaways from sneaking aboard. Is this time too long for such a small ship? I don't think it is, but that cockpit door does seem a little unnecessary and can stick a little when you're in a hurry. Now, for those hoping the Banu Defender has much in terms of living accommodations, I hate to disappoint you, but you'll have to wait for the merchantmen to feel at home. This ship is a fighter ship and thus in my eyes is lucky to have a bed, yet it does, and it actually has 2, one for each of the pilots. The interior space does really well with giving us that idea of what an alien ship can and should look like. I like darker lit interiors, whether that be in my ships or in real life in my office, so this fits right in there for my terms of atmosphere and mood. I like the detail of the interior walls and holographic controls, not to mention the levitating stairs and how the doors are broken up into pieces that slide away in a very satisfying way. The alcoves for the beds almost make you feel like you're in some restorative medical chamber, and overall I'm a huge fan of the interior design and layout and look forward to the Banu Merchantman's release whenever the hell that will be. The Defender comes in 4 additional paint schemes, all of which seem to only be available when the ship goes on sale, which is during the yearly Alien Week event in June. The first paint scheme is Polar, which is just a white version of the ship that looks okay, but I'm not a fan, as it doesn't exactly scream that it's an alien paint job. The Platinum is more my style, and I like the red accents on the top. The Stormbringer paint scheme, which you can find on most ships as an option, looks good on some ships, but I'm not a fan of it on the Defender. But the absolute gem of this batch is the Harmony paint job. Now that is an alien paint job, and the only one I would fly this ship with if I owned it. They could take that design and just apply a few color variations, and that would be perfection. In my eyes, a defender has two roles, one of which of course being a light fighter, the other being a great efficient traveler to get around the verse in good speed that is also capable of being a go-to ship for transporting yourself in another to do bunkers or derelict outposts. With more and more planetside outposts coming online with hostile NPCs, this ship shines in being able to not only approach those, but also to help clear out those hostile NPCs, and especially the arriving ships that can make some of the lower gunships like the Pisces have a more difficult time when those reinforcements arrive. Of course, the Banu Defender is also great at bounties and any ship-to-ship combat missions, and also a favorite amongst PvP-minded players, and is often utilized by Zero State on his streams, which is where I first saw it in all its glory. And while I know there are plenty of other ships out there that can out DPS the Defender, not many have its maneuverability and speed. If you're looking for a great rounded ship that can handle itself and even do cargo missions with great speed, which can be important for some of those time sensitive missions, then I would look no further than the Banu Defender. So smaller ships are normally cheaper to outfit, and the Banu Defender is not different, except I will say that with many ships you often start off with a decent set of guns to begin with, but one of the things I saw many players discuss in terms of upgrades with the Defender was to get rid of the stock weapons as soon as possible and without using them if possible. I listened and never used them, so I cannot say for sure how terrible those guns are. I outfitted mine with 4 size 3 CF337 Panthers and never looked back except to make some swaps here and there depending on the ship's I was fighting, which I cover more in my loadout video for this ship. I upgraded the quantum drive and shields and swapped out the missiles for electromagnetics and spent roughly about 150,000 credits, so not too bad, but not the cheapest. Now as part of the upgrades, I also wanted to show the different travel times this ship will have when you compare the stock engine with an upgraded one. The stock engine, which is the grade C beacon, is not bad in terms of how long it takes to fly from Crusader to Hurston at 4 minutes and 35 seconds in comparison to the one I switched to, which is the VK00, which gets you there just a second sooner. The travel times are a little better for Microtech to ArcCorp, with the beacon making the trip in 6 minutes and 22 seconds compared to the VK00609. The difference between these two lies in other stats though, such as the VK00 being better against distortion damage, so while it's not a huge change and many will get by just fine with the beacon, especially early on, I know that most will swap over to the VK00 if they plan on using this ship heavily. Alright, so the first part of this video has been mostly facts. Now we come to the part where it's more subjective, and although I try not to really push my opinion too much on others, I will give my take from a reasonable place, trying to avoid hyping things for the sake of hype. So, I'm not a fan of alien ships overall. I'm not saying there's no place for them in the verse, because there most certainly is. I just prefer to fly the non-alien ships for a couple of reasons, but looks is definitely one of those reasons. Alien ships look cool, and the Banu Defender, despite it looking like a crab, is easily one of the coolest, sleekest ships out there. It looks refined, but the best compliment I can give it is that it really pulls off that alien look, which is what the ship designers were going for. Me not flying the Banu Defender is not due to its looks, as it's definitely one of my favorite looking ships in the game, and even though I do not fly one, I enjoy seeing them when they pop up in the verse. Alright, so how does the Banu Defender handle? The ship flies really good, but it does feel a little loose for my personal taste. I'm not a great low flying pilot, and I think it responds really well, and the looseness of the ship is probably more on me and how I fly versus anything wrong with the ship. I like that it pretty much ignores how flight is supposed to be in Atmo, or at least how many ships feel in Atmo, and on that I give it top marks if I actually grade it on that sort of thing. The ship is very fun to fly, and like I said, I enjoyed it and would like more time to get to know it better, and if there is one ship that I would like to do some good low flying in, it would be this one with its low and almost jackknife profile. Alright, so looking over the bugs, I do not see many that are pressing or new. I certainly did not experience anything with the ship while I flew it. The couple of issues that I see here that show archived from the past year and not fixed are issues with the doors being stuck, or missile issues not firing, or being able to be swapped. There are some landing gear visual issues, and also someone said in January of this year that they had the vehicle loadout manager crash on them while swapping out a weapon, but with no others to contribute, that and the others here could have been random things that happen to any ship and not necessarily just specific to the Defender. This is the category that means different things to different people, and the best that I can do is offer up my own opinion on why I think it either is or is not worth the real money, price, or grind in-game, and I do try to keep in mind that a great many people truly watch what they spend, and so I like to find reasons to justify something's worth, especially in comparison to similarly priced ships that might be close to the same category. I also offer up tips on buying ships and how you can incrementally move up to larger or more ships and good times to do so throughout the year. The Banu Defender is more than twice the price of ships that perform similar tasks, no matter if you're buying it in-game or with real money. This is my single biggest gripe with not only this ship, but the alien ships in general. It's like we're paying a galaxy tariff on owning one. Even at its original war bond cost of around $170, which I think is what I saw it at, that seems too high in my book. The in-game cost is pretty high as well, but if you're great at making money and want one, this is the route I would suggest. 2.7 million credits is nothing to sneeze at, and I really don't think you get your money's worth in comparison to how other ships compare. But if looks and being a light fighter alien fighting machine is your goal, then by all means, have at it with no judgment from me. I'll gladly pay twice this for industrial vehicles, so I can't say much as far as what I do, but in terms of just how much more ramped up the alien ships are priced, just rubs me the wrong way, and the second reason I don't own one. Alright, so here we are at how I think this ship could be improved, or things I would love to see changed if I could come in, wave a magic wand, and have all the ship folks and marketing listen to me and make changes that I want. First off, the price. I would knock it down to $125 tops. Next up, as mentioned earlier, I would like to see more alien-themed paints like the Harmony paint job. I would also like to see something added to that blank middle section inside of the ship between the two beds, like maybe an armor or weapon slide out from the wall storage cabinet type of thing. I would love to see some sort of variant with an EMP, but I do not know about the Banu lore enough to know if they have that tech. This ship seems ripe for stealth tech though, and I think it being a lay-in-waiting ship to snatch up prey just fits with its look and feel. And that's going to do it for this ship review of the Banu Defender. Now overall, if I were to own any alien ship, it would be this one. But I just cannot put my alien prejudices aside. I mean, I feel like Kirk with the Klingons.
I've never trusted Klingons. And I never will. I've never been able to forgive them for the death of my boy.
Well, maybe I can have a change of heart similar to Kirk's by the end of the Undiscovered Country, but we shall see. That price though, whew. Anyway, remember to be kind to your fellow gamer. You haven't heard Shakespeare until you've heard it in the original Klingon, and stay positive citizens.